What's up, guys? Great to see you. So today's class is the first of Rollin release. I'm uploading it straight online. Hopefully I'll be able to teach this tomorrow, but I've had no Wi-Fi for 2 days, so I'm just recording one just in case. So I'm super excited about this class, guys. Thank you so much for coming in, for booking in today. The foam roller is one of my favorite props to use. I've loved it since the beginning of my Pilates journey, not just as a tool for myofascial release, but also as something to really enhance body awareness and spinal positioning when we work out. It can really bring on the burn. So today we're going to be focusing on core work and releasing into the muscles along our spine, so our spinal extensors, which include our lower back muscles. So we're going to begin straight away. Hopefully you've got a full length roller. We're going to begin straight away lying down on the roller, and I want you to try and get your whole back and your head onto the roller. Okay, so just like this. There's no graceful way of getting down. But make sure that you're on a surface that's not too slippery and your feet are able to comfortably get to the ground. Once your feet are on the floor, just make sure that they're parallel hip width distance, okay? So I want you to be pretty specific about your foot placement, because obviously where you put your feet is going to have an effect up into the hip, okay? So feet parallel hip width distance. Just make sure that the back of your head is nice and heavy on the roller itself as well. And then go ahead and place your hands alongside your body. You're going to close your eyes, and I just want you to feel the natural curves of your spine on the roller. So what's great about this is you can really start to feel the natural curves of your spine. Hopefully you can feel at the bottom your tailbone on the roller. Should be quite profound. I mean, you can really feel your bones pressing down into the roller. Just above your tailbone, you feel the lift, gentle lift of the lower back away from the roller. As you come up, you should feel your middle back pressing down into the roller. And then the back of your neck is obviously lifted away from the roller. Just go ahead and make sure that you're not arching into the back of your neck, and you can actually gently tuck the chin towards the chest as if you had a peach between your chin and your chest. Nice. So once you've got that, you should then feel the back of your skull pressing down into the roller. Perfect. So as you lie here, guys, just make sure that you're not flaring into your rib cage. Your ribs are softened down. And you really want to go ahead and relax into your collarbone, so the front of your chest is nice and broad and wide, so you can let those elbows really relax into the ground. So I'm going to ask you guys to take about 3 full breaths into this position. And on every exhale, just make sure that you're thinking about melting into the roller. So you're relaxing into it rather than kind of gripping or being too reluctant to sink into it. So when we approach a foam roller, when we use the foam roller, a lot of the time I see people kind of going 10,000 million miles an hour, rolling up and down the thing. But for me, at least, the most benefit I've ever received was from really kind of just tuning in and slowing down, as with most things. Okay, last big inhale here. Just feeling the spinal curves, and exhale. Very nice. All right, guys, so we're going to start to introduce a little bit of gentle movement here. So we're going to start with a tuck and rounding into the lower back. And as you do this, you might notice that your head starts to move up the roller. Arch into the lower back from here. Notice that your head might kind of scooch down the roller. And keep on going. So you might like to exhale into the tuck. Really try and get your lower back to physically imprint into the roller. And arch. We're going to go for about 5 more. Exhaling on the tuck, feeling your spine kind of glide up the roller and arch. And what I love about this is when you feel your pelvis and your lower back move, you get this residual movement in the neck and the skull. Just kind of like a case in point that your spine really is, one connected entity. And as you move one part, you'll be affecting all the parts above and below. Last 2, exhaling to tuck. Inhaling to arch. So you want to really feel as if you're going along the line of the tailbone. Last time. And arch. And then find your neutral spine. So those of you that have been coming to class this week, you should be masters at neutral spine by now. So just a gentle space, gentle natural space underneath the lower back. The front and the back of your pelvis nice and even. With that, and without too much movement in your right knee, can you lift your left heel up off of the mat? Start to engage into your tummy muscles, but don't tense up your neck. And see if you can lift your left leg into tabletop. Nice. The slower you move, the more you'll feel your abdominals. Inhale. And as you exhale, slowly start to take that left foot down. Don't rush it, don't rush it. Tempting the floor with the foot and then eventually letting it come down. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, keep your spinal positioning, don't let it arch. Lift the right foot up off the floor. Feel the lower abdominals engage. Inhale at the top. And exhale, slowly take it down. So nice and slow as you move, guys. Lifting the leg, making sure that as your leg lifts, you don't massively roll over all your weight into one side of the roller. And you're also not losing your neutral spine. Going for about 6 more. Exhaling and inhaling as you move. And I don't know about you, but I can definitely notice a little bit of instability already here. So as soon as the foot comes up off the ground, you might notice like a little wobble. That's really going to fire the core up. We're stabilizing on an uneven surface. Last 2, lift. Make sure that your neck hasn't started to arch. Keep that tuck of the chin towards the chest. Last time, lift. And take it down. Awesome. Both feet on the ground. Remember, neutral spine, so a little space underneath that lower back there. Go ahead and take your hands behind your head and elbows into your peripheral vision. So remember, feet flat on the ground, yeah? Neutral into the lower back. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, nod your chin, lengthen the back of your neck. Come up into a little bit of flexion. So remember, we're not rounding into the lower back here. We're keeping it neutral. And then we're going to take it down. Nice. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, bring it up. Feel the portion of your spine that lifts up off of the mat, off of the roller, and then feel that massage of the spine as you come down. It's pretty intense. We're going to go for about 8 more. Exhaling to lift and inhaling to lower. Nice. So as you keep going, obviously you'll feel the roller kind of dig into your spine. There's a lot of muscles and ligaments that literally traverse or cross the length of your spine. So you might feel a little bit of discomfort. If it gets too much, you're welcome to just take a break and come off the roller whenever you need to. Keep on going, 4 more. But what is brilliant about this is that the nerves that supply our body exit the spine. So we're going to really fire up the nervous system, get really, really tuned into our body. Last 2. And last 1. Let's take it all the way back down. Let your head relax on the roller and take your hands down alongside your body. Good. Relax the front of the chest and the shoulders. Make sure the ribs are sinking down. From here again, guys, we're going to take just our left leg into tabletop now. So before your leg lifts off, think about engaging into your abdominals. Lift the left leg off of the ground. Perfect. From here, you want to try and keep everything else dead still. Right knee, torso, everything is nice and still. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, stretch your left leg forward. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, stretch it forward. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, stretch it forward. So we're going to be building and building and building. Keep on going. But if you feel like this position here or this movement right now is enough for you, you're welcome to just stick with it. Last 4, you'll get a burn at the front of the hip. That's normal. It's good to work those muscles. Last 3, exhale, reach. Inhale, bring it in. 2, exhale, reach. Bring it in. Last time. Bring it in and hang out in tabletop with that left leg. Nice. If it feels available, you're going to take your right hand away from the ground. Just float there for a second and feel that wobbliness. Feel that right ankle work hard to balance you. All the nerves in our feet, all the proprioceptors figuring out how to balance us. And then if you feel like you could move, if you feel stable enough to move, you're going to see if on the next exhale, you can reach your hand and your arm in opposition, reaching them away from one another, and then bring them close back to one another, hand to knee. So exhale to reach. Inhale to bring it back. Exhale to reach. Inhale to bring it back. Check in with your spinal curves, guys. Make sure that the back of the neck is not arching, neither is the lower back. Last 2, exhale to reach. Inhale, bring it home. Last time, exhale, reach. Inhale, bring it home. And just keep the hand and the knee floating. Awesome. From here, reach your right hand straight up towards the ceiling. See if you can come to the fingertips of your left hand. If you feel stable enough, play around with lifting your left hand off of the ground as well. Now, some of you are going to get it immediately and it's going to feel good. It's going to be challenging, but it'll be doable. And some of you will start to roll all over the place. Just put one hand on the ground and keep on trying to balance, okay? If you struggle to balance, don't do the next bit, okay? Keep on just trying to practice your balance. If you've got it, take an inhale. And as you exhale, reach both arms back and your left leg forward. Make sure your right knee is pointing up towards the sky. And then bring them back together towards one another. Reach the arms and the legs away. And bring it back. Now, as you reach them away from one another, just make sure, again, obviously, that you're not arching into the lower back. So keep the back of the ribs pressed into the roller. Let's try for about 2 more. Glass of champagne balanced on that right kneecap there. Don't let it spill. Last 2. And last 1. And take the hands to the ground. Lower your left foot down. Well done. Really good job. Okay, just to give your hip flexors a little bit of a break, we're going to bring ourselves into a little bit of flexion again, and we're going to try and add some rotation. Okay, so take your head into your hands, elbows into your peripheral vision. Inhale here at the bottom. Remember, feet parallel hip width distance. As you exhale, nod your chin to your chest. Come up into flexion. Good, and then slowly take yourself down. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, bring it up. Inhale at the top. Keeping your neutral in the pelvis, slowly take it down. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, bring it up. Inhale at the top. Exhale, lay it down. Now for the next 4, we're going to add in a little bit of rotation, okay? So inhale at the bottom. Exhale, bring it up. Pause at the top. Look over to the left. Don't make this like a neck movement. Think about your rib cage rotating, and then rotate over to the right. Bring yourself back to center and lower it down. We're only going to do 2 more of them. Try and keep your pelvis neutral. Inhale. Exhale, come up. Pelvis in neutral. Rotate to the left. It's almost like that right rib cage is trying to come up and over. Then bring it back. Then left rib cage comes up and over. Bring it back to center and lower it down. Okay, last time. It's really hard to get height, so don't worry if you don't get too high. Just make sure your neck's not doing the move for you. Exhale, come up. Good. Right rib cage comes up and over. Bring it back to center. And then left rib cage comes up and over. Keep both feet pressing into the floor. Back to center. And then take yourself down. Well done, everybody. Okay, let's take it straight over to that right leg. So go ahead and take your hands down alongside your body. Remember, neutral in the pelvis, feet flat, hip width distance to begin. And engage into the abdominals. Right leg floats off of the ground. Make sure not to tense into the neck. Inhale. Exhale, stretch that right leg forward. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, reach it long. Try and get that really full in breath. Keeping the back of the neck nice and relaxed. Keeping the head pressing into the roller. You got 3 more. And bring it in. Last 2. Bring it in. Last 1, reach. Bring it back in and hang out in that tabletop position. Okay, so from here, go ahead and lift your left arm up. You're going to place your left hand onto your right knee. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, stretch the left arm back as you reach the right leg forward. Keeping the roller dead still, keeping the left knee pointing to the sky. Bring the hand and knee back in. And reach. Amazing. So as you reach long, as you become a long lever, you just want to make sure, obviously, that the lower back isn't arching. Okay, you're keeping dead still. Imagine your foam roller was right at the edge of a cliff and you don't want to roll off it. Last 3. And in. Going for 2. And in. Last time. Reach. Bring it back. Take the left hand to the right knee for a moment. Make sure the left foot is nice and happy out on the ground. Okay, then left arm reaches straight up towards the sky. Relax the left shoulder blade down. Right arm reaches up. Again, obviously, guys, if you're struggling to balance this, then keep on practicing the balance before you add the movement on, okay? And don't chance it. Notice how this side feels compared to the other side. One side's always going to be trickier. Take an inhale. If you feel like you've got it, you're going to exhale, reach the arms back, reach the leg forward. Inhale to bring everything back into the midline. So what I love about this is the left leg, the left foot, the one that's on the ground, is probably wobbling around like a bit of a leaf. But I love the fact that the left ankle, the proprioceptors, all those little muscles and nerves in the foot are figuring out how to balance you without your vision. You can't see your foot. Last 3 just goes to show how visual we are when we balance, how much we need our eyes. Last time, reach back. Bring it in. Good, and then go ahead, take the hands down to the ground, take your right foot down to the ground. Well done. Now, because we've had our hips in flexion for a good long while, we're going to bring our bums up into a little bit of a bridge position just to open up the front of the hips. So bring your feet parallel hip width distance. You might like to move the feet back a little bit closer towards your bum. Okay, ribs stay softened down. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, tuck your tail, pick your pelvis up, and just hang out at the top here for a second. So, your kneecaps are magnetizing forward towards the wall in front of you. Thigh bones are really lengthened. So think of us almost as a stretch for your quads. Okay, you're using your bum to really engage. You're keeping your low back relaxed. And you're keeping your ribs heavy. So you'll feel the back, that mid back on the roller, nice and pretty pertinent on the roller there. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, slowly take your spine down. Really spending time on that lower back portion. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, tuck to lift. Bring it up. Make sure the knees don't splay apart. So keep pressing down into the big toe edges of the feet. Slowly take it down. Now, if you wanted to play around a little bit with your balance, you could float both arms up towards the sky. Melt those shoulder blades into the roller. So don't let the shoulders scrunch away from the roller. Inhale. Exhale, tuck. Lift up. Pause at the top. Feel the midline of your spine. Inhale at the top. Exhale, peel your spine straight back down onto that roller. Nice. Again, inhale at the bottom. Exhale, tuck. Lift up. If you want a little more, keeping the ribs down, float your arms back as if you were reaching for the wall behind you, and then peel your spine down, getting that extra sensation of length, but also a little bit of core work. Inhale here. Exhale, bring it up. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale again. Watch the knees. Don't let them go east and west. Think about them going south. Knees magnetize forward. Inhale at the top. Exhale, slowly take it down. Watch for any zigzagging on the way down. So think about a straight line down. Last time, exhale to lift. Inhale at the top. And exhale, slowly peel that spine down. Amazing. Taking the hands alongside the body again. Now, you might feel like your back is a little bit sore and you need to lie on the ground for the next bit. So if that's you, please feel free to do that. I spend quite a lot of time on the roller, so I'm going to stay on it. If you can, then definitely do try. Okay, so the back of your head stays nice and heavy, ribs tucked down, and this time, guys, you're going to imprint into the lower back. So push your lower back down into the roller. You're going to take one leg into tabletop, other leg into tabletop, and just hold. So notice the wobbles. You probably find that you really need your hands. You really feel the shoulders vibrate. You feel that the stabilizers in your body trying to keep you from falling over to one side. Press the lower back into the roller a little bit more. Make sure that the chin is staying tucked. Nice. Okay, so if you want a little bit more here, you come to the fingertips of your hands. So you no longer have flat palms on the ground, but you put your fingertips on the ground. Okay? All right. From this position, reach both legs up towards the sky. Pushing the lower back into the ground a little bit more, and then bend into the knees, taking it super slow. So imagine you were drawing a line with your big toes up the wall, the straightest line you've ever drawn. So make that your priority. How straight can you draw the line up and down the wall without letting it squiggle as you potentially wobble from side to side? And down, slowly drawing that line down the wall. Feel the lower abdominals engage. Up the wall. Last time, draw your line down, keep the lower back pressing into the roller and reach it up. Very nice. Okay, so from here, again, just with the hands alongside us, we're going to bend into the knees, tabletop, press the lower back into the ground. You're going to scoop your right leg forward and up, left leg forward and up, and then bend both knees, bring it back to tabletop. We're going to go starting on the left side this time. Inhale. Exhale, scoop left leg forward and up. Scoop right leg forward and up. Nice. And we're going to bend into the knees again. Keep on going. Right leg reaches forward and up. Left leg forward and up. And then you can start to move the legs independently. So I guess it's almost like you're cycling a bicycle in reverse. Okay? Go for 4 more. 3, keeping the roller steady. Watch the neck doesn't tense too much. 2 and 1. Very nice. And then you're going to pop the feet onto the ground. Great job. Okay, so this is your last exercise line on the roller in terms of core. So if you can, obviously stay on the roller, please do. Otherwise, you can come onto the ground. From here, interlace your fingers behind your head. So support the skull again. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale again. Flexion. So find it. Stay in your flexion. See if you can lift the heel of your left foot up off of the ground. Push the right foot into the floor and maybe lift that left foot up into tabletop. Good. Slowly, guys. Please don't let that left leg collapse. The work is in the controlled movements. Down. Good. And then lower your head down. We go to the other leg. Inhale. Exhale, bring it up. Transfer, lift the heel, the right foot, lift the foot all the way into tabletop. Pause, balance. And then slowly take it down, drawing that straight line down. Good. Once the foot touches the ground, let the head relax down. You're going to do 2 more on each side. Inhale. Exhale, flexion first. Left leg up. Pause. Slowly take it down. And then lower your torso. Inhale. Exhale, bring it up. Right leg up. Pause. Slowly take it down. And lower. You got 1 more on each side. So this should really get your core fired up. Inhale. Exhale, flexion. Lift the heel, and then obviously if you can, lift all the way into tabletop. Pause. Slowly lower the leg and the foot. Once the foot touches, then lower the torso down. Last time, inhale. Exhale, bring it up. And right leg up. Pause. And then slowly take that right leg down, right foot touches, and then lower your head. Amazing job, well done. Okay, we get to come off of the roller now. There's no graceful way to do that. You just come off onto one side. So once you've gotten rid of the roller, I just want you to lie on your back for a second and just feel how nice it feels. To let your spine just be on the floor and just take a few seconds to let your lower back and your whole mid back really just relax into the ground. Okay, let your arms open out wide and then you're just going to make sure the ribs stay down, rotate the knees over to one side. So we're stretching out the abdominals on the sides of your body, so your obliques. Breathe into the exposed side. And on your next exhale, take the knees up and over to the opposite side. Big, profound inhales, guys. And on your exhale, bring it up. Okay, brilliant. So we're going to start to roll actually as a myofascial release tool now. So first off, we're going to roll, I'm just going to illustrate, into our lower back, okay? So if you can see on Mr. Bones here, this is the top of his pelvis. We're going to be going from this top area between the pelvis and the ribs. So this kind of open space here. Okay, so we're going to try and find it on the left and try and find it on the right, and then we're going to move up and down. Okay, so grab your roller and you're going to put it initially into kind of the mid back. Okay, so pop your hands behind your head, elbows into your peripheral vision. All right, so supporting your head, supporting your skull, you're going to start to lift your bum up off of the ground, and let's initially roll the length of our spine. So you're going to let the roller come all the way down as far as you can handle, and then all the way back up. Okay, so some of us will be more sensitive than others. Some of us will feel like, you know, the lower we go, like the less we enjoy it. So I'd say really slow it down. Okay, one thing that I see all the time when people foam roll is just going 10,000 million miles an hour up and down, and it's really not going to do much for you except probably make you tighter. So we're rolling the entire length of the spine in the middle. Okay, so as you go up and down, start to feel if you notice any little bits that might be tender, and just make a mental note of them. Okay. All right, last time, all the way down as far as you can, and all the way back. Okay, pop your bum down. What tends to happen when you roll is you travel. So I'm going to move myself down again. We're going to focus a little bit more on that space between the lower ribs and the top of the pelvis, okay? So support the back of your head, lift your bum up off of the ground, and along the center line, slowly start to roll down, 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 and back up. So we're just sticking in the lower back area. So as you go up and down the center line, you might notice, hey, my right side feels a little bit more tender than my left, okay? So if that's you, go ahead and lean into that right side just a little bit. Going even slower, okay? And obviously if it's the left side, then you'd roll slightly into the left. Now we will do both sides, okay? But I just want you to focus on the more tender area first. Coming up and down. Now, I want you to try and find a spot that feels a little bit more tender than other spots. So it might not be a massive sore area of your body, but just find a little bit, an area that feels a little bit more tender than the rest down there in the lower back, and I just want you to hang out into it and breathe. So when we are on our roller, we want to try and kind of give into it, you know, rather than not wanting to put our body weight down into it. We need to find that place where we can actually start to lean more body weight into it without sending a signal to our nervous system to tense up. If you're like me, you might like to do little rocking motions from side to side. So you stay on that little bit that you found, you stay on that nice little tender area, and you just roll gently from side to side. Going to take about 5 more breaths wherever you're at here. If you feel like you need more support, you can always put your elbows onto the roller and use it to lean on rather than supporting the base of your skull. With the elbows on the roller, you might be able to get closer to the pelvis, closer to the tailbone, the pelvis. Okay. Now, whichever side you're on, we're just going to switch over to the other side. So lean into the opposite side, and you can gently start to roll yourself up and down. So again, while you're rolling, it's a good idea to support your head. Keeping your bum literally just skimming off of the ground. You don't want to lift your bum too high because it just takes too much effort. Very nice. And again, on this side, see if you can find a spot that feels like it needs a little bit more attention. If you don't find that spot and you want to go back to the original spot that you found, then go ahead and lean into that original spot, which is what I'm going to do. Again, little rocks from side to side. It can be quite nice, rolling over the muscles. Go for maybe 2 more breaths. Last breath. And then come back to center. Well done. So I've managed to travel all the way back up my mat. So I'm just going to move myself down again. And we're going to come into the mid back. Okay, so again, support the base of your head, feet flat on the mat, pick your bum up, and now we're kind of focusing on that middle back area. So the chunk of your spine, really where the back of where your ribs are. Okay, so from the base of your shoulder blades, so the bottom of your shoulder blades, towards the bottom of your ribs. I mean, you don't have to be super precise. Again, as you go through the center line, just start to feel out, does one side feel a little bit more tender than the other? If the answer is no, don't feel anything, don't worry, we'll start to explore a little bit more. Okay, so bring yourself to about the middle of your back. Put your bum onto the ground. You might need to bring your feet a little bit closer so they feel nice and grounded. And then you're going to go ahead and lean into your right hand side. So notice my knees have moved, my pelvis is actually rotated as well. Lean into the right. Come back to center. Lean into the left. Come back to center. And then start to move around. So say you're going to move a little bit lower down your spine and then over to your right. Back to center. Over to the left. Back to center. Move a little bit lower down the spine. Over to the right. And this is where you start to feel like, okay, that spot over there, really center, you know, a little bit of a message to my body saying it needed a little bit of attention. So if you feel like you need a little bit of time somewhere, go ahead and stop on that point, right? Otherwise, every time you come back to center, you can move the roller a little bit lower, roll over to one side, back to center, over to the other side, back to center. Now I felt quite a nice little bit of something over here on this left side. So I'm going to start to focus on it by rolling back and forth very gently. If you haven't found anything yet, usually what you'll feel, or at least if you're pretty athletic, if you do loads of upper body stuff like planks and whatnot, at the base of the shoulder blades and around the shoulder blades, you'll usually find some tender spots. Okay, so whichever side you're on, take a few moments to just breathe into it. And again, you can rock from side to side, left and right. Good, and then just go ahead and do the same on the other side. I'm going to move myself down again. So, I'm going to spend about 2 more breaths here. Last breath. Good, and then come back to the midline. Now we're going to move the roller higher up the spine, and you're going to use the roller like a pillow, or rather like a neck pillow. So pop the roller literally on your neck. Grab a hold of the sides of the roller so it doesn't roll away from you. And relax your elbows into the ground. Nice. Okay, so from here, you might just like to let your head rest and let your neck just get used to having the roller behind it. If you're ready to move, then you start to look to the right. Pause. Let the muscles sink into the roller. And then slowly, as slow as you possibly can, start to look over to your left. Making sure that the roller is in like the meat of your neck. Very nice. And then slowly over to the right. And slowly over to the left. Good. So having looked from right to left a few times, again, I want you to hang out in the side that feels like it's a little bit more tender. So for me, it's my right side. So I'm going to hang out on this side, and I'm going to focus on relaxing my neck, feeling as if my shoulders are heavy, as if my head is really heavy. And I want to try and give into the roller. You may feel like you want to add in a side to side movement or even a little circle through the chin, as if your chin was drawing a circle. Any movement here that feels good. Nothing too quick. All right, if you feel like you want to stay on that side, you're obviously welcome to. Otherwise, you're going to look over to the left or the other side and just either sink in, or you can add in little movements, any movement that feels good. All right, well done. So coming back to center, we're going to go from top back down to the bottom again, okay? So bring yourself up over the roller, and I'm just going to move myself a little bit lower down again. You're going to take the foam roller kind of onto your middle back. Pop your hands behind your head, elbows nice and wide, head is heavy. Pick your bum up. And you're going to again roll that upper back portion. You're rolling along the midline. Take it a little bit slower this time if you can. So even slower, allowing even more of your weight into the roller as you roll up and down. right, now just going to the base of the shoulder blades, put your bum down. From here, you're going to lean into your right side again. Yeah, you'll let the pelvis move. Slowly back to center. Don't be surprised if the second time around is more tender than the first. One thing I notice, even when I'm giving treatments, physio treatments, is often it takes a while for the muscle to talk to you and tell you what it's feeling. So sometimes you can roll over something and it feels like nothing initially, and then you roll over it a couple more times and it starts to really talk to you. So that is normal. I actually see that a lot. Okay, keep on going, maybe 2 more. And as you start to feel it as if the areas are releasing, you can move lower down, put your bum back onto the mat, and then lean into one side. Come back to center slowly. Lean into the other side. Oftentimes when we roll over the shoulders, and this can happen in other areas as well, you may be rolling over the back, but you'll feel a pain at the front. That's pretty normal. Those are called trigger point referrals. And it is quite normal, especially in the shoulders. Okay. Yeah, keep on going, maybe 2 more on each side. So moving lower down, or obviously staying in an area that you feel might need particular attention. And last time on each side. I'm almost back in my pot plant. And come back to center. Very nice. Okay, so last little bit, again, we're going to focus on lower back. So that chunk, this chunk right here, that meaty bit, just below the ribs, just above the pelvis. Okay, so you're going to start with the roller a little bit lower down than it was before. Make sure you're looking down at your pubic bones. You're in a little bit of flexion. Okay, so you don't look like that and you end up straining into your neck. And then you're going to, you can start in the center, rolling up and down that midline. You probably already know and can feel which side might need a little bit more attention. So for me, that's my right side. And I'm going to lean into that side. Again here, if you feel like you want to pop your elbows onto your roller and use it, that's fine. And as you roll into whichever side you're rolling into, really allow your tissue, allow the meat to sink into the roller. Okay? Don't try and pull yourself away and tense up. Nice. If you don't feel one side is more tense than the other, then you could go over the midline to the other side. Come back to center. See if you can get a little bit lower down. Yeah, rolling from side to side. Back to center. See if you can get a little lower down so you really feel those lower back vertebrae press into the roller. So if you found a good spot, I'm going to give you about 13, 14 more seconds. That's very specific. Not that I'm ever going to be that specific with counting. You know by now. Right, but spending a bit of time on this side. Breathing into this side. Beautiful. Okay, well done guys. So come back to center. All right, bring yourself up off of your roller and we're going to get rid of it. Okay, so thank you, Mr. Foam Roller. All right, and then we're just gonna lie on our back. Again, I just want you to feel what your back feels like after having rolled along your spine so extensively. You may feel that you want to roll the knees from side to side, maybe not. If you are, we're going to go for one more on each side, the knees going over, back to center and over, back to center, and then you're going to hug your knees to your chest, allowing that sacrum to feel really broad on the mat. Just notice that. And then nod your chin towards your chest and try and lengthen your spine by coming into a little ball. Keep your neck free, elbows are nice and low, and then bring your knees even closer to your forehead. See if you can literally tap your kneecaps off of your forehead, lengthening the tailbone. And then guys, we're gonna roll up into seated. Find the cross-legged position in your seat. Okay, just a brief little mobilization of the spine and then you're done. Okay, so take your left hand over to the left-hand side of your mat. Sit bones on the ground, obviously. Lengthen through the crown of your head and then take your right arm up and over. Breathe into that open side. Inhale. Exhale, take it up and over to the opposite side. Nice. You might get a click or two. And then bring it back to center. Pop your right hand in front of your left. Lengthen up through the crown of your head and you're going to rotate over to your left. Pressing your right elbow into that right knee. Back to center. Lengthen up. Other side. Just a little rotation. Back to center. Lengthen up. Inhale, reach your arms up. Interlace the thumbs, get really long, and then exhale, you're going to bring your hands to your knees, nod your chin down towards your chest, slowly roll forward, and walk your hands out on the mat or on the ground. 2 breaths here. Walk your hands back. Switch which foot is in front in your cross-legged position. Lengthen up. Reach the arms up. Interlace the thumbs. Stretch. Good. Bring your hands back to your knees. Nod your chin down towards your chest and roll it forward one last time. Taking 3 breaths here. Walking those hands back up towards your body. Guys, I hope your spine feels great. Mine certainly does. After foam rolling and after any kind of myofascial release, it's generally a really good idea to drink a little bit more water, just because when you do myofascial release, it does release toxins that are kind of like stored up in the muscle and that can like get released into your bloodstream. So you want to drink lots of water. You might feel a little bit tired, and tomorrow you might actually feel a little bit of stiffness and pain along the muscles that you've released, but that should go away within about 2 to 3 days if it does even occur. So just know that that is a possibility. All right, guys, well done. Thank you so much for joining me. And next week, we're going to be focusing on our legs, so like lower body, quads and glutes, really pretty tight areas. So it's definitely one that you want to be here for. So see you soon. Bye.